The Chosen has pulled millions into its world, but most fans know almost nothing about the personal world of the actors themselves. And that gap is where things get interesting, because while their characters walk through miracles, conflict, and calling, the actors go home to something far more real: marriages, families, long-distance relationships, breakups, private struggles, and personal decisions that never appear on screen. Here's the surprising part. Some of the cast are newly married. Some are raising children while filming. One of the most central actors isn't married at all. And several guard their relationships so fiercely that almost nobody knows what their home life looks like. The show reveals the disciples' journeys. But behind the camera, each actor is living a very different kind of story, filled with challenges, commitment, and choices that shaped who they became long before The Chosen ever aired. This video isn't about gossip. It's about understanding the people behind the roles, what their marriages look like, how they balance fame with privacy, and how their real relationships shape the characters we see on screen. Let's start with the most surprising story of all: Jonathan Roumie. Jonathan Roumie, the actor portraying Jesus in The Chosen, is not married, and that single detail is one of the biggest misconceptions surrounding him. Because of the role he plays and the respect people have for it, many assume he must have a family, a wife, or a hidden personal life. He doesn't. He has publicly stated multiple times that he is single, mainly to clear up ongoing rumors online.
Whether or not I'm married. In the internet, according to the internet, I'm married to a woman named Diane.
Roumie's unmarried life is not the result of secrecy. It's simply where his life has led. Before The Chosen, he spent years in financial instability, taking small acting jobs and barely getting by. He has said those years required his full focus, leaving little room for building a long-term relationship. His career wasn't steady, and he didn't want to create a marriage in the middle of instability. When The Chosen took off, the demands increased: long filming schedules, international travel, publicity, and the emotional weight of portraying Jesus. Being unmarried gave him flexibility. He didn't have to divide his attention between filming and family responsibilities. That independence allows him to prepare deeply for the role through prayer, study, and quiet time, routines that would be much harder with a spouse or children. His single status also creates a unique dynamic with fans. Some idealize him more than he's comfortable with. Others try to link his singleness to his spirituality. Roumie consistently reminds people he's an actor doing a job, not the character himself, and that marriage simply hasn't happened for him yet. With no spouse, his support network comes from friends, cast members, and his faith community. These relationships act as anchors during intense filming seasons. They also provide the balance many actors rely on family for. The essential truth is simple: Jonathan Roumie is living a stable but private life centered on work, purpose, and faith. Marriage may come later, but right now, singleness allows him to manage a role that demands emotional discipline and constant public scrutiny. Next, we look at Elizabeth Tabish, whose married life offers a very different picture. Elizabeth Tabish, who plays Mary Magdalene in The Chosen, is one of the cast members whose real life contrasts with her character while still carrying some surprising similarities. She is married to Stan Mayer, a writer and stage actor. Their relationship is steady, low profile, and built on shared creative understanding, something she has openly said she values. Unlike many actors who keep their marriages entirely private, Tabish has spoken about what makes her partnership work. One theme she repeats is communication.
I have opened my heart to real love. I got married. We moved into a house together. I feel grateful to be able to live a life that is less stressful in many ways.
In a 2024 interview, she said that her husband cares about my interior life, where my heart is at. For her, that emotional attention is the foundation of their marriage. It also mirrors the depth she brings to Mary Magdalene, a character defined by vulnerability, loyalty, and transformation. Tabish didn't rise to fame early. Before The Chosen, she worked on small independent films and taught acting. Her husband supported her through periods of financial uncertainty and creative frustration. That stability mattered. She has said she almost quit acting entirely before the audition for Mary Magdalene changed everything. Filming The Chosen requires long days, emotional intensity, and repeated scenes of trauma, grief, and redemption. Having a supportive partner at home helps her separate the role from her personal life. Stan understands the emotional weight of performance. which means Tabish doesn't have to explain the exhaustion that comes with certain scenes. She can simply return home and decompress without judgment or misunderstanding. Their marriage also benefits from shared creative language. Both work in the arts, so career ups and downs are familiar territory. This allows them to navigate her rising visibility with more ease than couples where one partner is far outside the entertainment world. Tabish keeps her relationship private in terms of social media. She posts little about her husband, not because she's hiding anything, but because she wants her marriage to stay grounded and untouched by the intensity of public attention. In short, Elizabeth Tabish's married life is defined by emotional attentiveness, mutual artistic understanding, and protective boundaries. That stability shows in her performance, calm, centered, and deeply human. Next, we move to Noah James, whose story reflects the early years of marriage. Noah James, who plays Andrew in The Chosen, represents a different stage of life compared to many of his co-stars.
Year before we started season 3, I was like, my wedding is on September 2nd.
Right.
He is newly married, navigating the early years of partnership while balancing the demands of an internationally successful series. In 2022, he married his wife, Norma, in a Renaissance-themed wedding in Malibu. The ceremony reflected their shared sense of creativity and fun, something that continues to shape their relationship. Being newly married during a growing career creates unique challenges. Filming The Chosen requires long stretches away from home, emotional work, and unpredictable schedules. For a young marriage, that means communication becomes essential.
My wife will like come in and be like, are you gonna be coming to bed? And it's like, shh, 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 shh.
Noah and Norma have spoken about how they rely on phone calls, shared routines when he's home, and intentionally creating time for each other outside of filming seasons. One of the most important aspects of their marriage is mutual support. Norma is not part of the entertainment industry, so she brings stability outside the world of film and production. Meanwhile, Noah has said he tries to keep his work stress separate from home life. That separation helps them build a strong foundation in the first years of marriage. Their wedding timing also offers insight. Noah chose to marry not before fame, but in the middle of rising visibility. That means their relationship developed while he was already in the public eye, and yet they've kept their private life relatively quiet. They don't use their marriage for publicity, and they rarely post personal details online. For Noah, marriage provides emotional grounding. Andrew, the character he plays, is often portrayed as intense, anxious, or unsure. In contrast, Noah's home life gives him steadiness. Norma's support helps him stay balanced, especially during demanding filming blocks. In short, Noah James is building his marriage at the same time he's building his career. Two major life developments happening simultaneously. The success of one depends in part on the health of the other. And so far, he and Norma seem to be navigating that balance with intention and clarity. Next, we move to George Xanthis, whose married life is defined by privacy and quiet stability. George Xanthis. George Xanthis, who plays John the Apostle, is one of the cast members who keeps his personal life the most protected. He married his longtime partner in 2022, and by the end of 2024, the couple welcomed their first child. Beyond these basic details, he shares almost nothing publicly, a deliberate decision that sets him apart in an age of constant social media exposure. Xanthis has said in interviews that he prefers to keep his family outside the spotlight because he wants his relationship and fatherhood to grow without public commentary. This isn't about secrecy, it's about giving his wife and child a normal life despite the success of The Chosen. It also reflects his personality, calm, measured, and uninterested in using his private life as promotion. This approach helps him maintain stability, especially as the series continues gaining global attention. While fans may want to know more, his quiet boundaries protect his home from the pressures that often challenge actors' marriages. The fewer eyes on his personal life, the less stress on the relationship. Becoming a father while portraying one of the show's most reflective, introspective characters adds another layer to his life. Many fans have commented that John's emotional depth grew in later seasons, and Xanthis' new experience of fatherhood likely contributes to that maturity. Having a child changes priorities, and he has said that his main goal now is to be present, both on set and at home. Xanthis doesn't post pictures of his spouse or child. He doesn't share private milestones. He limits public appearances that involve his family. Instead, he focuses on work during filming and then disappears back into private life as soon as production ends. The essential truth: George Xanthis keeps his marriage strong by keeping it shielded. For him, privacy is not a barrier, it's a form of protection. And in an industry where relationships are often strained by visibility, his quiet, steady approach is a major asset. Next, we move to Jordan Walker Ross, whose marriage and fatherhood carry a powerful added layer: disability advocacy. Jordan Walker Ross, who plays Little James, has one of the most openly discussed personal stories in the cast. Not because of drama, but because he uses his married life and family experiences to give meaning to his work. He is married to his wife, Stacy, and together they are raising 3 children. Their family life is central to everything he does, especially as he continues his mission of advocating for disability representation. Jordan was born with cerebral palsy and scoliosis, conditions that created challenges throughout his life and career. Before The Chosen, he struggled to find roles because of his limp and physical differences. He has said that the emotional impact of constant rejection shaped not only his career, but how he saw himself as a husband and father. His wife, however, always viewed him through a different lens, as capable, talented, and strong. That support helped him keep going. Filming The Chosen added another dimension. For the first time, his physical difference wasn't something he had to hide. Instead, it became part of his character's story. Jordan has described how meaningful it was to come home after filming and talk to his wife about scenes that mirrored his real struggles. Stacy's steady encouragement helped him embrace vulnerability instead of avoiding it. Their marriage is built on honest communication. Jordan is open about moments of insecurity, and Stacy is direct in reminding him of his worth. They navigate busy schedules, doctor visits, and the needs of 3 children while managing Jordan's work commitments. It's not a simple life, but it's one they have built with intention. Fatherhood also plays a major role. Jordan wants his kids to understand resilience, representation, and compassion, values he hopes they see not just in his character, but in the way he handles his career challenges. Being a present father is one of his priorities, and he credits his wife with making that possible when filming demands more of his time. In short, Jordan Walker Ross's relationship and family life aren't side notes. They are the backbone of his advocacy, confidence, and growth. His marriage provides strength, his children provide motivation, and together they shape the unique authenticity he brings to The Chosen. When you look at the cast of The Chosen, their characters feel familiar: fishermen, followers, families, friends. But behind the scenes, their real lives are much more varied than the roles they play. Jonathan Roumie lives a committed but unmarried life that gives him focus and emotional space to handle one of the most demanding roles in television. Elizabeth Tabish's marriage is rooted in emotional support and shared creative understanding. Noah James is building a young marriage while navigating rising fame. George Xanthis works quietly to protect his wife and child from public attention. And Jordan Walker Ross's marriage and fatherhood anchor his advocacy and give deeper meaning to his role. What ties these stories together isn't perfection, it's honesty. Some cast members are in the early years of marriage. Others have been in long, steady relationships. One is single. Some share pieces of their home life. Others guard it completely. But every one of them shows the same truth. The work they do on screen is shaped, supported, and stabilized by the relationships they maintain off-screen. Their personal lives don't mirror their characters. They humanize them. And understanding those real-life relationships lets us see the cast in a more complete way, not just as the disciples on screen, but as people building marriages, families, and identities in the real world.